The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. It's the Daily Hour.
ChatGPT did become the world's most downloaded non-gaming app.
Literally the job of everyone in government to address the media and the public.
What are your thoughts, audience? What are your thoughts on Zandy Silva as the deputy PLP leader?
A community that can't feed itself is a community that,
What you may not know, though, is that Bermuda, we have a connection with Epstein, too.
Things that people are doing right, the youth are doing right, that is not being advertised enough.
When you see your access to U.S. dollars disappear, that's when you have a problem.
If you've got a town in the UK with a similar sized population, this place absolutely outshines it.
It's Tuesday, the 7th day of July, 2026. Welcome to Bermuda's Daily Talk Show. This is the Daily Hour brought to you by the BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House Lenders, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. I'm Jamel Hartman. How's everyone feeling today? What's up? What's up? What's up? Yeah. So look, for those of you who usually tune into our website, I know we were having some issues last week, but it seems like a lot of you are on the website this morning because the website it's new. It's still being renovated, a lot more to do. But if you visit our website and you watch on the website, you can also comment on there, thedailyhour.com. It is a brand new website, which with the option, if you're not a social media person, you don't do Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, X, LinkedIn, you can just head over to our website like any other website and tune in live and engage on the show. But I hope everyone's feeling good, man. I feel like it's been a while since we've been together. And, you know, I had my sister and my nieces in town, and just a reminder how important it is to spend time with family, right? My 3-year-old niece, my oldest niece, 13, and my youngest niece, 3, they're so different. They are so different. My oldest niece is very quiet. You know, my youngest niece she is active, and she's at that age where everything is, but why? So I have to be prepared to explain. And, I don't have children, so I'm not used to like the whys, right? So yeah, she made Uncle work this weekend, man. But it was great to have them. I love having them. I usually, as an adult, I usually go to the range and the Beltline, but I had to go to Lego Discovery Land and I had to go to the zoo and do some things, but always lovely having family in town. So just thank you all for giving me the grace and allowing me some family time. I really appreciate you and your patience, because apparently you all had a lot to talk about, which we'll get into. But greetings, everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. How genetics wellness testing can help improve our self-care. Well, Dr. Carika Weldon stops by from CariGenetics this morning for another important conversation that we'll get into. The daily play is going to be a remember when today. All right, little, see if you can remember some recent history. And audience, don't forget to go on our website and subscribe and follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. So question of the morning. Let's say good morning. Dr. Anthony Richardson says, happy Tuesday, Bermuda, especially after Portugal's shock loss to España. And then we got Suzanne Ingham says, good morning, Jamel. You're frozen and you're in and out. Is it you or me? Well, I don't know. Is it me or is it Suzanne, audience? Let her know. Who is it? Yeah, World Cup's been crazy, right? I'll talk a bit about that in a few, but yeah, Portugal out again. The US out, Brazil out. It's been a weekend and it's not done yet. But question for the morning, audience. What are your thoughts on the latest developments within the government? Well, last week, My phone was going off nonstop. People kept forwarding me a post from Crystal Caesar's Instagram account. My first thought was that it had to be fake. You know, we've all seen fake pages and fake resignation letters circulating online before. So I assumed this was another one, right? As we would all discover later, it wasn't fake at all. Senator Crystal Caesar had resigned as Minister of Education and from the Senate. Now, what caught my attention wasn't simply the resignation, it was the reason she gave. In a strongly worded statement, she suggested she was unable to carry out the work she believed was necessary because of what she described as a lack of support within cabinet, particularly from Premier David Burt. One sentence stood out to me, though. She said, quote, I have also become deeply frustrated by what I perceive to be an inability to make decisions that would genuinely strengthen our education system because of a lack of support within cabinet, particularly from the premier, for approaches that differed from an established political direction, end quote. That's a significant statement. Then almost after this news, immediately after, we learned that Michael Weeks was also out as Minister of National Security and that a cabinet reshuffle would take place the very next day. Now, keep in mind, all of this is happening just months before Premier David Burt is expected to step down as leader of the Progressive Labour Party, right? So, of course, people are asking questions. Is there more to this than we're seeing? Is the premier simply making decisions he believes are in the best interest of the government, or are these moves in some way influenced by the upcoming leadership race? I honestly don't know the answer, but it's certainly a question people are asking. Another question I found myself thinking about is Premier Burt's leadership style hasn't exactly been a secret. He's now been premier for almost 9 years next week, right? So what changed? What did Crystal Caesar experience now that she either hadn't experienced before or was no longer willing to accept? Then there's something I've said before, and I'll say it again. I remember saying to Premier Burt on this very show that the idea of following a political platform word for word over the course of an entire term doesn't make much sense to me. The world changes, circumstances change. The economy changes, technology changes. A platform written in 2024 shouldn't be expected to perfectly fit the realities of 2026. Good leadership should include the ability to adapt. It doesn't mean that you're abandoning your promises. It simply means that you're responding to the world as it changes around you. At the end of the day, government needs direction. They also need room for ministers to bring ideas, challenge thinking, and adapt when circumstances require it. Whether that's what happened here or not, I don't know. But Crystal Caesar's resignation has certainly opened the door to a much broader conversation about leadership, cabinet government, and how decisions are made. Now, to be clear, there's a lot more to talk about. The leadership race, the appointment of Ryan Robinson, parent chief, as senator, and the Minister of National Security. But for the purposes of today's conversation, we're simply asking you, what are your thoughts on the latest developments within the government? Think about it. Let us know. I'll be back after this to hear from you, but also we'll give you the poll. Stick with us.
People's ACW, located at King Edward VII Memorial Hospital, carries over-the-counter medicines, toys, cards, and even toiletries. Our knowledgeable staff are there whether you're at emergency, visiting family, or a member of BHB staff, to show you our best even when you're feeling your worst. People's ACW, we're here for you.
Alrighty, folks, this is Daily Discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Here's what we're talking about this morning. Crystal Caesar's resignation surprised many. Her statement was a bit more of a shock as well. She suggested political interference. And I'm going to stop there because I want to give you the poll as well. Well, we're speaking about Crystal Caesar. And audience, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to answer this poll. What's the worst that's going to happen? If she knows you, she's not going to like you. But answer this question. Yes or no? Was Crystal Caesar a good minister of education? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Now, I want to stop at she suggested political interference limited her ability to lead. Well, Madam Former Minister, there are educators who feel the same way about you. They feel like your political interference limited their ability to lead. Yeah? Let's also note the exit of Michael Weeks and the cabinet shuffle that followed. From the outside looking in, this doesn't seem like it was done on the basis of good governance or strategy of what's going to give Bermudians the best opportunity to succeed. I know you've seen the pictures, audience, and the videos of who's been at whose political campaign rallies. I noticed certain people, like the Minister of Education, former Minister, Crystal Caesar, at Curtis Dickinson's event at Devonshire Rec, and my ears went up. It's like, maybe she's just supporting a colleague. But I think the most shocking thing to me about this, and this is what really bothers me about a lot of people in the PLP backbench, or even some people in cabinet positions. I think we would all agree, audience. I think we would all agree right now that David Burt has been consistent in being David Burt. I think we would all agree this morning that his governance style from 2017 has been pretty consistent. So I am really genuinely interested to find out what changed. Was David Burt not operating like this from the outset? Did you think that you were special where he was going to be different? See, here's what I don't like, and what I can't tolerate right now from a lot of people within government. There's a leadership election coming up, and it looks like, people are jockeying for position. Oh, Curtis Dickinson might get in. Let me, try to buy favor with him. Jason Hayward may get in. Let me try to buy favor with him, right? That's what politicians do. It's all about them when it comes to elections, right? It's not about the people, right? And it's almost as if some of them are trying to separate themselves from David Burt and his premiership to gain favor elsewhere. It's manipulative. It's bad. And it's almost as if you don't think people are smart enough to see through that. I'm not going to sit here and disagree with anything that the former minister, Crystal Caesar, said, because I just don't know. I'm going to take her word for it, because many people from the outside and have claimed that David Burt operates like that. But that's neither here or there. I think the issue is, why now? Why now? And then there's the replacement, the former Minister of Education returning to the helm, and Diallo Rabin, right? And people are upset and up in arms, rightfully so. It seems like a step back, right? That's why the question is what it is right now on the screen. If for those who are tuned in online, 1 for yes, 2 for no. Was Crystal Caesar a good minister of education? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Because here's the thing. Many people will say that Curtis Dickinson was a good finance minister. His resignation broke hearts. So people understood it. People rocked with it. And he gained favor. Why? Because people saw him as a respectable and good finance minister. I'm not quite sure people see that in the Minister of Education. So again, the audience question of the morning, this is your daily discussion brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. What are your thoughts on these latest developments within the government? You saw, again, if you're just tuning in, we had the resignation by Crystal Caesar, a statement on her resignation that basically called out David Barrett, the Premier of Bermuda, and his political interference being limitation for her ability to lead, also a lack of support from cabinet. Michael Weeks also exited cabinet. A reshuffle followed. People find the timing of these moves interesting due to the PLP's leadership race that's approaching. People asking questions. Is this routine government business or political positioning? Cabinet solidarity versus ministerial independence. That's a conversation as well. Should ministers be able to pursue different approaches within their portfolios? That's a question. Can a government's platform evolve as circumstances change? As I've said previously to David Barrett, the Premier of Bermuda, on this show, it has to evolve. A platform cannot be this rock document. It can't be something written in stone. It has to evolve. We keep hearing education reform. What does that mean at this point? What does it mean? And do these moves by the Premier strengthen or weaken public confidence in government? Now, let's be fair. A lot of you were complaining and had a lot to say about this Minister of Education, right? Speaking about her interference and so on. But because of the way she resigned and what she said, I think she's getting some favor from people, the general public. I could be wrong. But answer the poll. Again, you all are scared. I knew you were not going to answer this. You don't have to be afraid of Crystal Caesar. You don't have to be afraid of David Barrett or anyone. We're having a good old conversation. We're not defaming anyone. We're not speaking ill of them. We're simply asking, was Crystal Caesar a good Minister of Education? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Let's go to the audience, see what you all are thinking this morning. We've got Dr. Anthony Richardson says, she was perhaps trying to stop a moving train, a bullet train, to somewhere, but where to is the question. Well, it seems like an education authority is the name of the game right now. You already know how I feel about authorities. Bermuda Tourism Authority, trash. And I think an education authority is going to be trash. Not because they can't work, but because the way that they're set up, they're not set up to work. They're set up as, I believe it may have been Dr. Lou Matthews, and if it wasn't him, I stand to be corrected. But you don't want these things to be old boys clubs. You want them to be effective. And to be effective, you need to appoint the right people in the right positions to create a strategy and a plan that outlasts the people in the positions when it begins. Charles H. Jefferson II says none of the former minister's accusations were surprising. What was surprising was the timing. Within 4 months until a new leader is elected, was there a straw that broke the camel's back? That's I think, the question, Charles. I think that's a very valid question. Because as I stated, many people from the outside would say that everything she said is what people have felt about the Premier at this entire time. And it's, people are coming to conclusions, people being me as well, that maybe trying to gain favor with someone else, knowing that either way, her current job would be coming to an end in 4 months, there may be an opportunity. I don't know. Suzanne Ingham says, here goes, I think he was prepping for Haywood to be premier, so he can still control the narrative. It's all fishy, Justin McFinn. I don't like this. I don't like the idea, and I've spoken to many people about this over the weekend. I don't like the idea of people thinking that Jason Hayward will be dictated to and controlled by David Barrett. Why aren't we doing that with Curtis Dickinson and IB or the Cairns brother guy? Why are we doing that with Jason? I think it's actually unfair. It's probably ridiculous. I mean, look, every premier has dealt with it in the PLP. David Barrett's controlled by Hewitt Brown, or Hewitt Brown's controlled by this. Like, what? Why? Look, let me be clear in Jason Hewitt. Jason and I have mutual friends. I've probably had one conversation about politics with Jason Hewitt in my life. I don't think Jason particularly likes me, which I'm okay with because many people don't. Jason Hewitt came on this show once, which was last year. I don't think Jason Hewitt is a bad person. I actually think he's probably, if you took politics away, you'd probably say he's a decent person. He's not a drinker. He's not a partier. He's a person who probably isn't the most personable, but he's not a troublemaker. He's not a person who goes out of his way to ensure that he's seen. He's the opposite of David Burt. But what I find interesting is when it comes to Jason Hewitt, we don't give him credit, but we're quick to give credit to Curtis Dickinson. We can actually give credit to both. Both have been very respected in the spaces they're known for. But the idea that one is controlled and the other isn't, I'm going to say the person who is more likely to be successful in spaces where they're not more likely to be in control is the more controlled. The person who's past has them in a space where they're fighting for people like them is less likely to be controlled. I hope that makes sense to you. But the idea that people are running with, that if Jason were to win, it'll be David Burt running the show, I don't like it. I think it's unfair. Because for all we know, we don't know who's running the show. And Premier Sir John Swan dealt with it as well. He dealt with it, that he was being controlled and run by white people and so on. We heard it. It's not fair. Charles A. Sheffs II says, I think the measurement of the former minister's performance as Minister of Education is very subjective. I do appreciate her putting a pause on the plan being implemented, but what's next was unclear. Stopping things is great, but moving things forward or creating something or putting something in place and getting it done and executing, yeah, that's what people will be judged on. Politics is subjective, really. How we choose to decide what's good and bad for us sometimes is subjective. I take your point. But whether the minister was good or not, people have opinions. I mean, a couple months ago, you all were screaming her down because she was interfering, per se. Look, I'm not an educator. I'm not a politician. I am someone who loves and cares about the direction of Bermuda. And I think that her resignation was a blessing in disguise. Some people have said that the biggest mistake PLP ever made was not appointing Dale Butler as the education minister when they first got in. I agree. But many years after, when you would ask Mr. Butler about that, he would always say, nope, I don't want it. That to me was selfish. And it was almost as if he didn't want it because he wasn't given it from the outset. My point in bringing that up is you all may not like what I'm about to say, but to Crystal Caesar and Diallo Rabane, the only two ministers of education who've been appointed under David Burt, I thank you for having the courage to actually take it on. But that's where the thanks ends. Took it on, and you did not make things better. My hope is that within the next 4 months, the Honorable Diallo Rabane will do something to move the needle. One can be hopeful. And if hope's all we have when it comes to education at this point, so be it. So be it. Let's give some love to Titan Express and Secure. And tomorrow, we're going to be discussing the appointment of Ryan Robinson, Parent Chief, and what that means. Because I think you all know how I feel about David Byrd as Premier. I think he's been a horrible Premier. But that doesn't mean that I don't think he's one of the most brilliant or intelligent politicians in his generation. The appointment of Ryan Robinson, Parent Chief, was a stroke of genius. And I look forward to discussing that with you all tomorrow. Let's show some love to Titan Express and Secure. The daily discussion is brought to you by Titan Express and Secure. Titan Express delivers safe, professional, and reliable transportation and tours across the island. From island tours to cultural expressions, they set their standard. And Secure is your go-to for property management, waste management, and residential and commercial services. Visit securebda.com. Professional, punctual, and reliable service is their commitment to you. Alrighty, folks. So I forgot we've got it is the first show of the week, and we've got our Bermudian icons for you. But before we get to the Bermudian icons, I just want to really say something. I don't know if we have any Americans in the house, Canadians, any football fans, but I want to touch on the World Cup real quickly. I absolutely, those who know me know I love sport. But I have a couple of things I want to just address quickly before we continue. To the women in the audience and the men who love women's sport, do me a favor and stop comparing them. There's absolutely no comparison between the men's and women's World Cup. If we truly want equity and equality, eliminate gender sports and have everyone compete together based on skill set. We wouldn't do that, so stop it. There's absolutely no comparison. That's number one. Number two, I know some people love sport, but they don't follow it. And they don't understand all the rules. There was a red card given to the forward of the United States. And subjective whether it was a red card or not. Based on the rules, if you watch football on a regular basis, people have seen red for that more times than not. It's a red card. Final decisions to ref. They have video assistant referee where they can overturn it. It was a red card. Yes, players like Messi got away with the same thing, but it was a red card. I wouldn't have wanted him to go, but the refs final decision. Cool. I'm not going to point out the articles, but FIFA under Sepp Blatter, the former president, was considered corrupt. But every rule seems to have been broken with Donald Trump getting involved per his own messages publicly and getting a red card overturned so that this player, or suspended so this player can play. Cool, fine. That's the way that corruption. Look, if we remember World Cup 2006, Italy won that World Cup. What everyone forgets, Italy, yes, they won the Euros in 2020 or 2020. But Italy has not performed well or in the World Cup since. But everyone forgets what happened in 2006 when they won the World Cup. You know what happened? Italy football was hit by a scandal like none other, corruption. When you ask what happened to Italian football, go back to the corruption in the mid-2000s. And so while they won the World Cup, their football was doomed because the best players were not going to go there and they were not going to be able to develop their local footballers against the best in the world. That's how you get to where you are today. Things don't just happen overnight. They're born, and then over time, like a human, they grow into something. That brings me to the United States of America. I love living in the United States of America. I've lived the majority of my life in the United States of America. I have family, friends, and a big community in the United States of America. I lived in 7 states and many cities in this country. I love going to NFL games. I love going to baseball games. I love going to hockey games. I love going to sporting events. But the idea that the reason the United States doesn't do well in what they call soccer because their best athletes don't play it is the biggest bunch of crap and the most arrogant comment that anyone can make. Let me tell you why. The only sport that Americans dominate of their major sports is the one sport that only they play, and that's the American version of football. In basketball, go and look at the last few MVPs in basketball. Canadian, Europeans. The most dominant players in the NBA right now, Jokic, the least athletic player going. Say Alexander Gilchrist, Canadian. The Frenchman, Victor Wembanyama. Luka Doncic. We can go on. When you look at hockey, Russians and Canadians dominate that major sport. Look at baseball. The biggest and best and highest player is Japanese. Want to go further? They're Latin American. So the argument that your best athletes don't play in football, real football, where we use our feet, is boring, doesn't hold weight. That's your arrogance and envy because you have not been successful at beating the world at it. That's what that is. The only sport you dominate is one the world does not care about. That's it. Take the humble pie, sprinkle some whipped cream on it, and enjoy it. If you want to be successful at football, you've got to change the approach. It takes skill to play the game. To think that an American football player, 300 pounds, is more fit because he can run a certain distance in 4 seconds, well, tell him run it for 90. I go jogging on the belt line. I've had my friends visit Atlanta and go running with me. We're talking the fittest of fit people. And they can't outrun me in 2 miles. Why? Because it's different levels of fitness. I'm built to go long. And that's not arrogance. Those are facts. There are different levels of fitness. Football is the greatest sport in the world. Why? Because every and anyone is welcome to play it. That's why. All right. Sorry, I just had to get that off my chest. Folks, let's go to your Bermudian icon this week. Brought to you by our good friends at ZipX.
Welcome to TDH's Bermudian Icon series, brought to you by the great folks at ZipX.
Some voices just belong to a place. In Bermuda, one has belonged to the airwaves for decades. Glenn Blakeney built inter-island communications from the ground up, giving Bermuda 2 of its most beloved stations and giving Bermudians a platform to hear themselves, their culture, and their stories told honestly and authentically. Long before the mic, Glenn Blakeney was a member of Parliament and the Minister of Environment, Planning and Housing. He took on the work of shaping neighborhoods, protecting the island's landscape, and building opportunity from the ground up. 2 callings, 1 through line. Give Bermuda a seat at the table, whether that table sits at Parliament or in a radio studio. Today, the Glenn Blakeney Show carries that same mission forward. Unity, culture, and honest conversations, one broadcast at a time. From policy to airwaves, Glenn Blakeney has spent a lifetime making sure Bermuda's voice is heard, loud and proud, and unmistakably its own. Glenn Blakeney, a Bermudian icon.
And that's today's Bermudian Icon series, brought to you by the great folks at ZipX. Now back to the show.
The boss, I look forward to continuing to support Glenn and all that he's done because of what he has done for not just myself and Teo and so many in the media space, but for Bermudians. The platform that he has given us, trust me, he is a reason I believe in people getting their flowers while they're still here. Big up to the boss, a true Bermudian icon. Folks, days of the year, it is World Chocolate Day. World Chocolate Day. So I'm going to ask you, what's your favorite chocolate? On World Chocolate Day, what is your favorite chocolate? World Chocolate Day. I'm going to go first. I didn't grow up liking chocolate. I did not grow up liking chocolate, but my taste buds have changed over time. But for me, nothing beats a chocolate with almonds in it. I was like a cookie chocolate person, like a Twix was my favorite chocolate. But, and yes, I will eat chocolate with dairy in it. I'm not going to eat direct dairy, like drink milk or eat cheese. But I'll eat anything with almonds in it. Like, what's those things? Cadbury? Is it Cadbury? Those Cadbury ones with like the whole nut in it. I love those. But Twix bar was my go-to. Charles H. Jefferson II says, dark chocolate covered almonds. Yeah, you can't beat almonds, right, Charles? We've got Traveling Trotty says, chocolate with hazelnuts. How do you pronounce that? Ladderech? We've got Cadbury hazelnut or Bounty coconut, says Renee Sherlin. We've got Butterfinger, says Kathy Sumner. Okay, you all making me look want a chocolate. All right, folks, let's take a quick break. We're coming back after this break. We've got Dr. Carika Weldon. I'm looking forward to this. In the meantime, make sure you give us a like, love, follow, share the link with your friends, your family, your colleagues. Don't forget, tomorrow we're talking about the appointment of Ryan Robinson, Parent Chief as the Minister of National Security and more. But stick with us. Do not go anywhere.
Guess what? Bermuda's most popular game is back. That's right, ShoeBuy is back in stores. But wait, there's more. The brand new ShoeBuy Summer Edition is here too. Bring the laughs, the vibes, the friendly chaos to your barbecues and summer get-togethers with Bermuda's favorite game. Don't miss your chance to get yours. Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on social media to learn more.
One Lucky Bucks in the summer edition has a golden ticket with the chance to win a grand prize courtesy of One Communications.
Hi there, welcome to Medical House. We're located at number 6 Bakery Lane. I can't wait to show you all of the great stuff that we carry. Come on inside, let's see. Long days, long shifts, you no longer have to endure comfortable underwear. Designed by nurses, we now offer premium undergarments by Swoop that are unique, fun, comfortable, and functional. The only underwear you'll ever want to wear. Who says high-quality functional products can be stylish and comfortable at the same time?
See it all at our new expanded location on Bakery Lane.
Discover Drop It, your go-to grocery delivery. Browse and select from a wide range of groceries, from fresh produce to daily essentials. Our friendly drivers deliver fresh groceries to your door fast, saving you time and hassle. With Drop It, you get fresh groceries delivered fast, so you can focus on what really matters. Drop It. Freshness at your doorstep. Delivered to your door with Lindo's. Why go anyplace else?
Class of 2026. What's your next chapter? University overseas? Bermuda College? Or your first job? HSBC Bermuda can help you start strong.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Open an HSBC Bermuda bank account and receive a $100 gift card from a local retailer or Amazon.com. And every successful referral receives a $50 reward. Hurry! This limited time offer ends July 31st. Apply online at hsbc.bm/nextchapter, and within 2 business days, an HSBC team member will guide you through the final steps. Terms and conditions apply. HSBC is licensed to conduct banking and investment business by the Bermuda Monetary Authority.
I know you want to come get some. Playing around. Stop playing around. I got that juice. I got it, no doubt.
Ever taken medication and thought, why is this hitting me so hard? Or why isn't this doing anything at all? Here's something you may not know. Your body processes medication the same way it needs to process food, using enzymes. And these enzymes metabolize medication so it can be converted into its useful form or removed from your body. Pharmacogenetics looks at how your DNA influences the way your body metabolizes or breaks down medications. It helps explain why a drug that works well for one person causes side effects in another and barely works at all for someone else. That means the same pill at the same dose can feel very different from one person to the next. It's not about blame. It's not about doing something wrong. It's simply biology. And once you know what works best for you, medication decisions stop being guesswork and start becoming personalized.
In one sentence, boy, I would say it definitely feels like a labor of love for everyone to benefit.
Going through this book, I would say my favorite quote is, one of the most humbling things in life is knowing that I'm replaceable.
It's an easy read, but after it was done, I was wanting for more. So
I think this book will make a fantastic gift for people that like self-help type of books.
Highly recommend, personally and professionally, because the amount of quotes in here is a beautiful perspective.
People that just want a little extra positive affirmation every day.
3 words I would describe this book. I would say it's inspirational,
intentional,
motivational,
thoughtful,
aspirational.
Let's say the next one is hyphenated, must have.
Alrighty, welcome back. You all rocked with us just now. You rocked with us. Welcome back to the big show. Jamal Hartman here. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by BAC Group of Companies, HSBC Bermuda, Medical House, Lindo's People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio areas with these most important community conversations. Folks, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Folks, again, if you haven't already, make sure whatever platform you're streaming on, you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share the conversation with your friends, family, colleagues. Hey, let's give a warm TDH welcome to our very special guest for the day. Let me make sure I got the right one. Okay, we're going to go a warm TDH welcome to a very special guest. She is basically a co-host at this point. It's Dr. Carika Weldon, folks. Hey, Doc.
Morning.
How are you?
I'm good.
Okay, calm down, audience. Calm down. That's cheering all loud. I love the yellow this morning. I was going to say, I forgot my St. George's colors. I just forgot I was just, and then you had yellow, so you made me feel a bit. But even though you're not representing a color close to that other team.
No. You already know I'm for St. George's.
Absolutely.
But today is all about self-care. And
Absolutely.
yellow is, a color that resonates with that. So that's why I have on yellow today. And it's my favorite color too.
I love it. Before we get into self-care, because chocolate's not necessarily self-care, depending on
it can be.
Depending on how much you eat. I mean, if you're like me.
In moderation. Gotta treat yourself sometimes.
I don't know what moderation is when it comes to sweets. But we gotta find out from you, Doc. What is your favorite chocolate?
Easy, Reese's. Anything Reese's. Reese's Pieces, Reese's Sticks, Reese's Cups. Give me Reese's. Give me an ice cream. Give it to me. Reese's. Easy. Okay.
All right, audience. We know what to send Doc next year on her birthday. We already missed her birthday. It was May, right? It was in May, right?
I can still take it. It's fine.
Late gifts are fine. All right, we got it. Got to ask one more question before we get into conversation.
Yeah.
Have you been following the World Cup?
Of course. You know who my daddy is?
Your dad is a footballer from Devonshire Colts. I know who your daddy is. Some people go astray. I'm glad you didn't.
Was that?
I'm glad you didn't go astray. I'm glad you didn't go astray and that you understood that football is an important part of life.
I very much and my brother plays football too. I got it. So my team, that's what you're asking.
Yeah.
My team is France. I supported them last 3 or 4 World Cups. So that's my team. No, I was Cape Verdean for a bit too. But that's my cousins. They look Bermudian. But
you look like a couple of their sisters I've seen in a couple of their videos.
They're basically Bermuda, just on the other side of the Atlantic at this point. But unfortunately, they didn't get past last week. But yeah, France is my team, so that's who I'll be cheering for.
As we jump into the convo, I want to ask the audience, who is your World Cup team? I'm honest, I haven't had one. I've cheered for certain teams, like I love the Cape Verde story. I can't get emotionally attached, and the reason for it is sports teams let me down too much. I get too emotionally invested, so I don't have I've just been able to enjoy it. What I have done, don't judge me, but I do love hate watching. I was hate watching the U.S.-Belgium game last night. I was hate watching England-Mexico. I do some hate watching. I'm like, man, come on, Mexico. I'm not really for Mexico, but but that's what I do. But audience, let us know, who have you been supporting in the World Cup? But Doc, you're not here to discuss that. We're talking about how genetics wellness testing can help improve self-care. Start off just by re-explaining, because you've done it before, but there are new people maybe tuned in. Genetics wellness testing is becoming increasingly popular. What exactly is it, and how does it differ from genetic testing used to diagnose disease?
Yeah, so genetic wellness testing is focusing on your lifestyle traits. So fitness, nutrition, personality traits, sleep, skincare. So, I think a lot of people, when they think of genetics, they do think of like, who's your daddy, or where you come from, or, do you have a risk of cancer? But that is just a very small piece of what genetics can tell you. I want you to think of our DNA like an IKEA instruction manual, right? You can't build that thing without that in mind. I don't know if you've ever tried to do that. It's just not possible. And we need to think about our DNA in that same way. Everything about our lifestyle and how our body functions is in that instruction manual. So this is focusing more on our lifestyle and how it can improve our lifestyle, make sure that we're doing things that are not just the newest trend, right? But that actually works for us. And that can be seen in our DNA.
Indeed. And how can understanding your DNA help you make more informed decisions about overall health and day-to-day lifestyle?
So there are certain things that, again, very similar to, for example, let's talk about sleep. That sleep is actually what I really want to focus on today, because it's something that a lot of people don't really consider when you're thinking about wellness. You talk about food and nutrition and exercise a lot, but sleep is just as important in making sure your body can recover. But there are certain traits, for example, in our DNA, certain genetic markers that determine how much sleep you need to actually recover. So it's those types of things. Also, when it comes to vitamins and minerals, we have some genetic markers or these features that can tell us that you're going to be deficient in a certain nutrient or not, right? And so if that is the case, then okay, I know, for example, omega-3, I'm just, deficient. My body doesn't process it the right way, as best as it could. So I need to supplement that so that I can have the right amount. All of that, again, coming from understanding my genetics from a wellness perspective.
It's funny. I have a friend met many years ago, and we just reconnected. She's a Verdian, and actually both met in Rhode Island. She's in Atlanta, and she's a biologist. And we were just talking last night, because I have a doctor's appointment later today, because a couple of years ago when I moved to Atlanta, I ended up in the ER, dehydrated, and now I take, after my runs and prior to them, I take the what's this thing's called, the liquid IV, or like some hydration tablets.
Right.
I've been feeling that way lately, and I think a lot of it is I haven't had sleep. My nieces were here, and so I was going. I haven't eaten right. Like literally, my sister called me out on it, which, you love your family for doing that, like eating snacks and not eating proper meals. So my friend was telling me about some thing where you can get these tests beyond what you normally get at your physicals, right? Like about exactly what you're speaking about, tells you what vitamins you might need or what works best for your body. You may be deficient in this. I start taking B12 yesterday again. So this is honestly, this conversation is so helpful right now, because I'm literally, my body's going through that.
Yeah. And I think the other thing I want to say is, I'm a biochemist by training, and biochemistry is essentially all of the chemical reactions that happen in our body. We are a walking chemistry experiment going on, right? Like our body needs to be balanced. We need to have that like equilibrium. You need to have the right amount of different nutrients to make sure that everything is functioning correctly. And if it's off, we feel it. And so this is where we need to make sure that we understand what that means for us, because also what works for you doesn't necessarily mean it work for me. And I think, in this day and age where there are so many options when it comes to wellness, and there's so many trends, and there's so many different diets, and there's so many types of ways to exercise, and there's just so much. I mean, we've got overload really when it comes to wellness. Sometimes it's difficult to know like what is good for me. And being able to actually look into your DNA and your genetics and say, well, actually based on this, looking at your manual, this is what is recommended for you. That is what wellness genetic testing is all about.
I think that's probably one of the most important things anyone can ever tell someone about health. And audience, if you have any questions or comments, you can send them through. But I remember when I went through a period where I was working out so crazy, where I was eating right and I lost a lot of weight. And people, oh, I want to do that. And I'll tell them what I did, but I'm like, it worked for me. Like I went to my doctor and so on. Just because it worked for me doesn't mean it worked for you. Our bodies are different, especially a lot of women. Like men and women metabolisms might be very different, right? So I think that's one of the most important things because, and it's also a reason, Doc, and I always say I don't do classes because classes for everyone don't work for me. Like they don't. Like I'm a person who, good friend of mine is a runner, and he said, look, run at your own pace. Don't worry about like what that time that person's doing or this person's doing. Like when you're tired, you need to stop, listen to your body. The best advice I was ever told when it came to health and fitness was listen to your body. But I want to ask you on that, Doc. A genetic profile can provide insights into areas like nutrition, as you mentioned, fitness and vitamin metabolism. Share some examples with us of how that information can help someone personalize their health routine.
Yeah. So interesting. We have a new client that we work with in the Caribbean, and we actually offered this wellness genetic testing to their staff. And what we were able to do beyond the results back to each person was to look at some aggregate results, because they wanted to know as a company, well, are there different things we need to do to actually improve our employee experience? One of the interesting things that came out, and again going back to sleep, is that over 60% of the staff needed 8 to 10 hours of sleep to feel rested. And I know most of us know, okay, 8 hours. Do we get 8 hours? Probably not. We're probably getting maybe 6, maybe sometimes 5, right? Now, the other, 40%-ish needed between 6 to 8, actually fall into that category. As why I'm looking, so Carika had, 7-8 hours of sleep. But that's 60% needing more, right? So if you're getting the minimum and you think you're getting your 8 hours and you're showing up to work every day and you're tired, right, and you're drained, you're not going to be productive. So that was, I think, actually a big insight that I was actually shocked with, because I thought that more people would need less, right? So for them, they're able to take that. And I mean, another one was about the vitamins and minerals. There was a high deficiency in selenium, for example, that had a high predisposition, as well as omega-3 and vitamin D. So again, they're looking to how can they, adjust, because they give food and free snacks in the workplace. What can they provide that will help for that, right? And obviously each person has their own results in our CariGenetics Wellness app. So they know, okay, yeah, this is for me. I need this extra support. I need extra, selenium or whatever the vitamin is. So that was like a very tangible example. And I really love it. I mean, we even were able to look at, kind of predisposition to back pain, right? Which is something that is also that something you can look at. And they were like, well, look, if we see it's a high rate, we will start looking at what chairs we have, right? Very practical and tangible examples. The other thing I want to say as well is when it comes to self-care, and this is all, we're focusing on this because actually this month is International Self-Care Day on the 24th of July. So I quite like the kind of nuance around it, 24/7, right? That we should take care of ourselves all the time. So July 24th is, we also need to manage stress better. Stress is the biggest thing that I think we don't always also talk about when it comes to self-care. I actually was honored last week. I did a little bit of emceeing at Harvard Nights. So that was, that was a thing. I was the backup plan to Katrina and, did my thing. So we were honoring the 67th anniversary of the theater boycott, which was last week. And we, did that at Harbor Night. And I had the pleasure of meeting Mrs. Isola Harvey, who is a centenarian. She is 100 years old. She was part of the progressive group. And, we were honoring her. She was present. And, I said, well, what's the key to making it? And she said, get rid of everyone that's stressing you out. I said, I hear you. I hear you. So, when it comes to self-care, I want to just put out there, yes, genetic testing is very helpful, but you have to act on it. right? It's giving you information for you to use. How do you manage stress? What food should you eat that will make it better? How much sleep do you need for your body to recover? But information is no good if you're not using it.
Indeed. Thank you for sharing that. I definitely agree. Make those changes. Some real quickly, I want to touch on misconceptions. Because there are people very hesitant about genetic testing.
Of course.
I remember when we went through COVID, my sister was reminding me this weekend. So I took everyone in the house's temperature, right? With the little thing. And she said, I remember COVID. People thought you don't put that on my child's head. Like you're reading the brain something in there. And it was a crazy time. But there are like, what are the biggest misconceptions about wellness testing, and what should people realistically expect?
Well, the first thing is we're not going to be able to fix everything, right? We know what we know. There's a lot that we don't know when it comes to genetics. And so, that's why we need to do research, which is why we do the research we do in the Caribbean, so we can understand more. It's also, I know, it is a very valid concern about, safety, and, we saw what happened with 23andMe. One of the things that, I get asked basically every time I talk to someone about it is, where is, what is the data being used for? Where is it going? And one of the things that we can say is our wellness app is GDPR compliant. It is within a very secure, network, or where you do your saliva sample, you spit into a tube, it has an ID, your name is not on it. When we're shipping this sample to the lab to get processed, no one knows whose sample it is. It's just got a 10-digit alphanumerical code. The only way that we know that your sample is because you've actually scanned it into your app account, and that is between yourself and us at CariGenetics, and that's it. No one else knows. So we've gone to those measures, but it's a very valid concern, and it should be something that people worry about. The other misconception would be that, can it tell you about allergies? I get asked that a lot. Can you tell me if, I'm going to have allergies to stuff? No, we can't tell you that just yet. Again, that may be something we can tell you in the future. But all in all, I think the main thing is this is an extra tool in the toolkit that can be used when it comes to health and wellness, so that you can navigate it a bit better. I think the other thing I would add as well is, and this is how we've been conditioned, is we think that because we're seeing, changes, or we're losing weight, or someone is skinnier than another person, that they're healthier.
Yep.
Not always the case. And I can tell you firsthand, there is another test that we have called biological age. It's actually how old are your cells aging, right? It's a molecular test. It's looking at epigenetics, which is actually changes from the environment that happens on your DNA over your lifestyle, over your lifespan, sorry. And so it's actually a very good, kind of litmus test of how are you doing, right? Because, we only have one body. It's like a machine. How are you taking care of it? And what, again, a lot of people misconception, they think, well, I'm at my good weight, or I'm, I feel like I'm healthy. I feel healthy. I look healthy. So I am. And a lot of them have had biological ages that are higher than their actual chronological age, and vice versa. Some people who feel like, oh, I feel so old, and I'm not, like what you say, I'm not eating how I should. And I'm, maybe you aren't, but maybe you're actually doing a lot right? I think we're so hard on ourselves, when it comes to wellness, and we always look at what the gaps are. We look at the media, and we have this kind of standard put in our face all the time. And then the results come back and they're younger, and they're like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. I was pleasantly surprised. And then when you start to get into it, they're like, well, yeah, I do sleep, regularly, and I don't smoke, and, I don't drink as much. And you're like, well, yeah, all these things add up. So, I think people will be pleasantly surprised with it when they do dive into it. We've had a lot of people that, have taken the leap and are very excited and very pleased with their results. And now also feel like they've answered some questions that they had for a very long time.
Indeed. Doc, I want to go to the audience. Michael Daniels says, a lot of things in life are cyclical, and is there any indication that the human genome is cyclical as well? If so, what does that mean for people?
Cyclical. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have, I mean, so the DNA is definitely a helix. We know that much. I think that's probably as much as I can say on that question. I'm gonna have to dig into that a little bit more, Mr. Michael Daniels.
Okay. Um, I know you got to run, but
I know, you know, I gotta look into it more. That's
appreciate.
actually one thing my PhD supervisor said to me one time. He said, a lot of people, when they don't know the answer, they fill the space and they just say whatever. Is if you don't know, say you don't know, and tell
Sure.
them you can find out. And that's
Building trust and credibility, right? But I think that some things stand out from this morning, and it's something that I think we all take for granted, especially the sleeping thing. And I hope people understand. And for those that listening on the radio, we've been speaking with Dr. Carika Weldon. But for someone who has never considered genetic wellness testing before, and I say they notice things, right? Because we're the first to notice changes in our body, right?
Yeah.
What would you say are the biggest benefits of understanding one's DNA, and how can they get started maybe with reaching out to you?
Biggest benefit is, and again, how many clients tell us, it has made sense of things that they have observed. You now have this additional information, and again, it's almost like an extra tool in your toolkit of like, what can you use to improve your health and wellness? We only have one life to live, and being able to really understand your body and what you need is very empowering, actually. And if you want to get started, you can go on our website, CariGenetics.com. We have a test called My Wellness. It covers everything as well as biological age, and you can dive in.
Mm-hmm. I have another. Just came up with something because I think this. Let's end it on this note.
Mm-hmm.
Science continues to evolve.
Yes, it does.
Where do you see personalized healthcare heading over the next 5 to 10 years? And what role do you hope CariGenetics will play in that future?
It is where medicine is going. I mean, it's already going in that direction. And personalized medicine being you are getting treated based on what you need, not just on, one size fits all approach. I pray that CariGenetics' role is making sure that we bring this and we make it accessible for all people in the Caribbean, because we should not be left behind. We have historically been left behind. We've been left out of the conversation, and we want to make sure in the next 5 to 10 years that, precision medicine is a common thing, that we have the tools to know what medications are right for us. We need to know, what our risk of disease is, if you would like to know that, so you can try to improve and prevent it. And what are the different things you need for your wellness that works for you? It should be commonplace. It shouldn't be a luxury. It should be for everyone.
Doc, thank you so much. Again, these conversations are always timely, as we're in the middle or the height of summer. It's getting hotter and so on. And I just want you to send some. Just give people. I know it's not the topic today. Some advice on how to stay safe through the summer heat, regardless of what condition they may be in.
I would say my biggest advice is to listen to your body. Your body, like we said just now, speaks to us all the time. Don't push yourself. Don't, try to go beyond what you're comfortable with. You feel it, listen, and then respond. Take that rest. Drink that extra bottles of water. Take it with you. Don't limit yourself, because your body is always talking, and you don't want to go beyond that. I mean, it's I don't know if this is the same heat that we grew up in. It doesn't feel like it. I can tell you that. So make sure you have those precautions, but listen to your body.
Indeed. Always a pleasure, Dr. Carika Weldon. We will see you soon for the next big one. Talk soon.
Bye.
All right. Always great having Dr. Carika Weldon on, man. Folks, if you appreciate that discussion, make sure you give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. Make sure you share it with your friends, your family, your colleagues. We have the daily play coming up. Yeah, trivia question. And I'm going to share, I'm going to share details. Christmas in July on the Daily Hour starts next week. And I'm going to share some details with you after this break about how you can win some prizes. So don't go anywhere. Stick with us. We'll be back after this short break.
Children love to play and have fun, and they love gifts even more, especially ones that they can enjoy and learn from. With Bermuda Trivia coloring books, kids can explore the island while they color, learn, and create. The perfect activity for fun and learning together. Available now.
Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on your favorite social media platforms to learn more.
Yeah, I don't got this. I'm gonna be fast at delivery and run.
Oh, really? Don't pay me enough for that,
Oh, no, sugar! Okay, who's the faster? Who's the faster than me? Talk to me. No more stress. Just sit back.
For over 70 years, Bermuda Pest Control has been protecting homes and businesses island-wide. We offer a full suite of services, including rodent control, termite fumigation, and general insect control and maintenance. Our team of experts will quickly and efficiently eliminate any pest problem you may have. With Bermuda Pest Control, you can enjoy a pest-free home in no time. We're committed to providing fast, reliable, and solution-driven services for our customers. It's what we've been doing since 1952. Call Bermuda Pest Control today and say goodbye to pests for good.
Dreaming of expanding your business? With BDC's Loan Guarantee Program, we support your ambitions. Get up to 75% guarantee on bank or credit union loans up to $300,000. Just your vision and our support. Apply today and unlock new business opportunities. BDC, Bermuda Business starts here.
Bermuda, there's nothing like a home-cooked meal, especially when you can feed the whole family without stretching your wallet. With the affordable Bermuda basket, you'll find savings on everyday staples like rice, chicken, corn, and more. Everything you need to make a good meal for less. Shop the Bermuda basket at Lindo's, Marketplace, the Garden Market, and the English Market. Visit costofliving.gov.bm to see the full list of goods and start planning your meals. This is a message from the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Life moves fast, and so can the unexpected. When you insure your home, you need to know that your insurance company has your back. At Friesenbrook, let one of our friendly and professional agents give you that peace of mind. Because when you are covered, you are confident. Call us at 296-3600 or visit friesenbrook.bm to learn more.
Guess what? Bermuda's most popular game is back. That's right, ShoeBuy is back in stores. But wait, there's more. The brand new ShoeBuy Summer Edition is here too. Bring the laughs, the vibes, the friendly chaos to your barbecues and summer get-togethers with Bermuda's favorite game. Don't miss your chance to get yours. Visit BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on social media to learn more.
One lucky box in the summer edition has a golden ticket with the chance to win a grand prize courtesy of One Communications.
All righty, welcome back to the Big Show. Jamel Hartman here. Thanks again to Dr. Carika Weldon for yet another important community conversation today. I want to give a big shout out and thanks to our partners, the BAC group of companies, HSBC, Bermuda Medical House, Lindo's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 107.5 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. Folks, it is time for the Daily Play brought to you by Bermuda Trivia. Bermuda Trivia products are available at many stores throughout Bermuda, so you want to check BermudaTrivia.com and follow Bermuda Trivia on all your favorite social media platforms to find out where. All righty. It is a remember when audience. Very easy question, I think. Audience, who won the World Cup the last time the final was held in the United States? You all are using Google. No, it was not Germany. It was not Germany. The last time the World Cup final was held in the United States was in 1994 with Brazil beating Italy in a penalty shootout. Well, this time around in the USA, there will be a new winner as Brazil was eliminated by Norway. Yeah. All righty, audience, let's wrap it up. Look, as far as this morning's discussion, at the end of the day, in politics, resignations happen, cabinet reshuffles happen. But it still leaves us with questions and questions that we'd love answers to. The problems still remain. Education is still in disarray. And it needs to be fixed. And honestly, regardless of who the minister is, the buck stops with the premier. Now, I've said on numerous occasions, educators and police, I find it hard to critique them because they have the hardest jobs, at least as it relates to politics. They do. Whatever happens with education, we can't continue down the road we've been. And if what former Minister Crystal Caesar is saying is true, that she wanted to do things differently but got pushed back by a cabinet, I think it's time for the entire cabinet to take a hard look in the mirror and ask themselves, if what she's saying is true, at what point do we adapt and not stick to what's in our platform? I completely understand why the premier wants to stick to it, but the platform should be your guide. Your guide. And guides will change over time. If you're out in the woods and you have a guide taking you a certain place and something happens in the elements, and if you have to change course, it happens. It happens. As far as the conversation with Dr. Weldon, I can't thank her enough. Honestly, I take heed, audience. Rest. You know, I got up this morning, went 2 miles in the gym, and I'm tired. And I'm like, after I did it, I'm pumping myself with electrolytes. And I'm like, I probably shouldn't have done that. Even though I hadn't taken a run since last Thursday or Friday, I probably shouldn't have because my body is tired. And I'm grateful because it's a reminder. Sometimes we have our own ideas and plans, but our body is telling us something different. He said it, listen to our bodies. Thank you for that, Dr. Weldon. All right, daily inspiration before I let you go. I like this one. This is from my book, The Journey Within. In a digital world full of actors and performers, please remember that authenticity doesn't require much effort. Be yourself. Indeed, folks. We are going to let you go. Don't forget, tomorrow we want to discuss the appointment of Ryan Robinson, Parent Chief to the Senate as Minister of National Security. Really looking forward to engaging you all about his appointment. So audience, do not forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date. Oh, I told you I was going to, before we go, I was going to tell you about the promo, Christmas in July, didn't I? And you all didn't even remind me. You didn't remind me. Come on now. All right, so here we go. So how it's going to work, all right? You have to listen. You have to tune in every day. Each day during the show, there will be a special Christmas in July hashtag, right? You've got to tune into the Daily Hour. You have to listen for the hashtag. And you have to comment live with the hashtag on Facebook or YouTube or Twitter X. or our website. Unfortunately, it doesn't work on Instagram or LinkedIn, I believe. It may work. They'll hit the button and it'll be random. So I have nothing to do with it. You'll see it spin on the screen. We have a lot of prizes to give away. All right. We're working with our partners to give you away some gift baskets, some gift cards, some Bermuda trivia stuff, shopping vouchers, like a lot of stuff. All right. So it's going to be daily. We're starting next week, Monday. I think the date is the 13th. The 13th. All right. Christmas in July giveaways. This is our thank you to you all for rocking with us for the first 6 months of the year. So Christmas in July on the Daily Hour begins next week. Next week, Christmas in July. You don't want to miss it because we want to do something nice for you since you've rocked with us and given us your time every morning. So for those who tune in on the radio, I'll try to figure something out. I know you all cannot put in a hashtag, but we'll try to figure something out for you so that you can participate as well. All right. Maybe we'll do something where you send an email to us, but we'll figure something out. But thank you all. But seriously, this time, don't forget to subscribe on our website. Follow us on all of our social media channels to stay up to date with all that we have going on. Help us grow beyond the mic as we do our part to continue to improve our community. Thanks again to our partners, the BAC Group of Companies, Medicals, HSBC Bermuda, Linda's, People's Pharmacy, and big love to Hot 1075 for ensuring that we can pump through the radio airwaves with these most important community conversations. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. I'm Jamal Hartman. Please do make it a safe and a great day. We are out. Peace.